Hello everyone, my name is Simi. This video is created for EESC19 course Oceanography. Today I'm going to talk a story about the expedition HMS Challenger between 1872 to 1876 and how did this expedition advance oceanography. The Challenger expedition of 1872 to 1876 was a scientific exercise that made many discoveries to lay the foundation of oceanography, which was the first ever dedicated marine science expedition. I will enumerate the main discoveries related to the oceanography and talk them in details. Here is a quick overview of this presentation. The background information of expedition HMS Challenger. Then we move to important discoveries related to the oceanography. I will mention 3 of them. Discovery of undersea mountains, particularly along the mid-Atlantic ridge, charting of surface and subsurface ocean currents, salinity differences and temperatures, find of an enormous depression in the northwest Pacific Ocean. The conclusion contains 2 parts, talking about great discoveries in other fields and the historical significance of expedition HMS Challenger. First, let me introduce some background information about this expedition. The expedition was named after the mother vessel HMS Challenger. Aboard HMS Challenger were a team of 6 scientists led by British biologist Charles Wyville Thomason, 20 Navy officers and a crew of more than 200 men. In order to be suitable for carrying out scientific investigations, the ship had to undergo extensive alterations, including removal of all but 2 of the cannons to make room for equipment and sample storage. In addition, 2 laboratories were constructed on board, one for chemistry and one for biology. During the journey, HMS Challenger traveled almost 69 miles, which would last almost 3.5 years, visited every continent on the planet, including Antarctica. The ship stopped for sampling at 362 sample stations, spaced as regularly as possible over the ocean floor. Now we move to the few important discoveries related to the oceanography in this tool. First of all, the greatest discovery of the expedition would be that of the mid-Atlantic ridge. Though this was not appreciated until more than 80 years after the voyage. Mid-Atlantic ridge submarine range lying along the north-south axis of the Atlantic Ocean. It occupies the central part of the basin between a series of flat abyssal plains that continue to the margins of the continental coasts. The mid-Atlantic ridge is in effect an immensely long mountain chain extending for about 10,000 miles in a curving path from the Arctic Ocean to near the southern tip of Africa. The ridge is equidistant between the continents on either side of it. The mountains forming the ridge reach a width of 1,000 miles. These mountains sometimes reach above sea level, thus forming the islands or island groups. Not only did this dispel the conception of the abyssal plains as uniformly flat and featureless, but the mid-Atlantic ridge turned out to be crucial to understand the concept of plate tectonics. It is there that geologists first understood how the tectonic plates upon which continents ride are formed and travel around the globe. This submarine mid-Atlantic ridge owes its formation to the movement of the continental plates on either side of the ocean. As these plates slowly separate, they leave gaps in the Earth's crust. This allows molten rock from beneath the Earth's crust to reach the surface, forming a new part of the ocean floor. Secondly, some of the greatest discoveries arise from measurements of the temperature and salinity of seawater deep in the ocean. These measurements led to the discovery of ocean circulation. Previously, it was believed that limited movement of water around the ocean was caused by surface winds creating currents in the sea. However, measurements taken by scientists on board HMS Challenger showed that differences in the temperature and salinity of different water masses were the driving force behind ocean circulation. Temperature and salinity independently affect water's density. The colder and saltier the water, the denser it becomes. As water becomes denser, it sinks. Nowadays, scientists call this density-driven component of meridional overturning circulation the thermal healing circulation. Thermal means heat and sealing means salt. Without this density-driven process, deep water currents would no longer be created. The global conveyor belt would grind to a halt. Scientists are using observations and models to trace the complex pathways of meridional overturning circulation and determine its stress. It's an overwhelming task. Maps charting the circulation's course are still evolving. Deeper currents and upwelling in particular are extremely difficult to measure, but some patterns are becoming clearer. Moreover, sounding measurements taken during the expedition provided the world with a first rough map, showing the true outline of the ocean basins. The deepest measurement they made was in the Marianas Trench, now known to be the deepest part of the ocean in the world. It is located in the western Pacific Ocean, an average of 200 kilometers to the east of the Mariana Islands in the western Pacific, east of Philippines. It is a crescent-shaped scar in the Earth's crust. The measurements about 2,550 kilometers long and 69 kilometers wide on average. Here, scientists measured a depth of 8,200 meters, a remarkable measurement given the somewhat crude method used. The depth was determined by lowering a 100-pound weight over the side of the ship on hemp rope until it touched the bottom. This process could take a whole day just for one depth measurement. However, modern measurements place the maximum depth of the Marianas Trench at nearly 11,000 meters. This expedition not only advanced the oceanography, but also impacted many other fields, such as marine biology. Over 4,000 new species of marine animals were discovered during the course of the voyage, many of which were found on the seafloor, an environment that scientists originally believed to be too inhospitable to support life. If you are interested in, you can go through more pictures online that would amaze you. We can conclude that the Challenger expedition marked the start of a new era in marine exploration. The achievements and discoveries of the Challenger expedition are really remarkable and led to many of the greatest steps forward in marine science. The result was the report of the science results in exploring voyage of HMS Challenger during the years 1873 to 1876. John Murray, who supervised the publication, described the report as the greatest advance in the knowledge of our planet since the celebrated discoveries of the 15th and 16th centuries. Here's all the reference I used in the presentation. That's all for the presentation. If you have any question or interested in the expedition HMS Challenger, welcome to discuss with me. Thank you for watching.